Good evening, my friends, and welcome to the next episode of Neyyah. Last time out, we were checking out, well, whatever this is, some kind of assembly hall for the Palotish clans, perhaps? And we did a little translation. We shall protect our people, our Pelska, our Daladame. I don't know. We'll see on that one. However, today I promised we'd be doing audiobook adventures. We have got some books to be reading, and that is what we are gonna be doing. What's this green thing over here, first of all, though? Oh no, we've got green things on all of them. Right! In no particular order, shall we just make a start here? Right, so we're going to straight off the bat. We've got some Galanti. So let's clean up the text, but we're also going to need to do a little bit of a print screen here and a little translate. Are we going to need to keep copies of all of these pages? Like, how many pages are we talking about per book? Yeah, I'm not going to take screenshots of all of those pages. Right, the harvesting of the Payita. Incidentally, settle in. This is what this episode's going to be. This is a lore dump episode. Let these words of our land, our blood, keep on empowering our people to shine, to be the best we can be and learn from our mistakes to make Fazalta a better world to live in. By the order of Lord Quanonovic, I, Tasail, one of the four rulers of Fazalta, do hereby share my knowledge of our Fazaltian ways. And we've got a bit there that we're going to translate in a minute. The sun was setting, sending rays of orange and purple light to paint the wooden planks of our harbour bridge below my feet, creaking ever so softly through the unwise calm lull of sea breeze. Just got to quickly move that. That evening was a memorable moment, having returned earlier that day from a successful Payita harvest with two of the harvesters based on Falitsu Island, Vioke and Caleb. Before I had stepped foot onto the boat docked at the harbour, Vioke met me close to the Kayenti Hall. I rejoiced at the sound of many workers enjoying one another's company in the warm embrace of delicious drinks and food, and I felt comforted that our efforts to keep a productive and happy community thriving were proving successful. This Phalidian was prospering. Vioke told me that the Levandishing furnace at the gun tower, which the workers on Neyyah referred to as Leriti, needed to be activated before we departed the harbour to sail to the Scarliti Towers. Caleb met us at the bottom of the tower where the Levandis crystal furnace was situated. I had never seen one of these mechanisms in operation before. One Levandis crystal from Erlinish rock is placed within the furnace. A clamp with a needle is used to penetrate the crystal and keep it secured underneath the metal shade brought over the crystal on a small round spinning concrete table. A gas called... the original text doesn't quite line up here. A gas called litivium is released from the crystal once the furnace is activated. This gas is lifted up into the top floor of the gun tower, powering the guns mounted there. This all needs to be operational before the harvest is brought back to the harbour from the Scarliti Towers, so defences are in place against any possible Elopolite attacks. As well as this, the Elopolite shield is manned before the boats can depart for the harvest. The plasma bulb shield itself needs to be prepared for activation if any elopolite attack occurs. Usually, 4 workers can easily man the shield's plasma fountain flute system, and Golor crafts need to be positioned at correct stations at the elopolite shield. Elopolite attacks were once heavily targeted at the harbour due to the arrival of the Paita harvest, and Cheryu's Calafirikel's thirst for the Paitas. The shield is now more of a precaution than a required defence measure. Despite Cheryu's whereabouts remaining unknown, there have been no sightings of his foul elopolite creations for a good few years. The sedation chamber has been inactive at the Golophiac mines for quite some time now. So, with everything in place, we were finally able to board the boat docked at the harbour. The Talita Triangle Gateway started to rise, bringing in beautiful white rays of sunlight. One of the harbour operators worked the spin rod mechanism built on the shore of a small watchtower, enabling the boat to start its descent. Down the main ramp, using machinery built many moons ago in Fazaltian past, before the rail cart tracks were constructed from the harbour to the Paita factory for Paita delivery. Before long we had set sail, cutting up the glistening white strips of sunlight that kissed the ocean waves. A flock of Talabrock birds flew overhead as though helping to guide us on our voyage. We were instructed by Caleb that the second boat will be meeting us halfway on our journey. This boat would be the second harvest collector to fulfill the Paita harvest operations at the levitation crane. I soon spotted the shape of the Scarliti Tower's walled basin, where 3 big rounded chambers split the blue sky behind them in impressive silhouettes. A gorgeous mix of high concrete walls plated in golden plaques depicting the Fazaltian flora were the foundations to a walkway connecting each of the 3 towers together. Another flock of Talabrock birds swept over us as the grinding metal gears of the 2 entrances into the basin of the Scarliti Towers began to groan into life. Our boats were heaped with crates ready to store the Paitas. They rattled endlessly as we passed through the gate into the flooded basin of the Scarliti Towers. Then the thunderous cheer of the Fazaltian audience burst into life. Onlookers getting ready to witness the spectacle about to take place, having arrived here for this special occasion from various areas of Fazalta. Neyyah provided a fantastic presentation of Paita harvesting, unlike any other Phalidian. Our boat was suddenly enshrouded by bright sunlight as the silhouettes of the Scarliti Towers loomed above us. The levitation crane awaited us. We continued sailing over the still calm waters that had filled the basin of the Scarliti Towers. People gathered at specific entrances into the arena, pushing themselves against the railings, cheering as loud as they could at the sight of our approaching boats, about to embark on a process which served as a crucial bloodline to this land. Vyok anchored the boat halfway from the entrance to the basin, and the chute of the levitation tower, consisting of a cylinder of gold metal with a large gap in its centre, tapering up towards a giant rod fused with various sized Levandus crystals. This served as the main power source of levitation required to bring the Paitas out of the water ready for collection. The crane began to burst into life. 2 large disc-shaped metal plates started closing in towards the Levandus crystal power source, causing the crystals to start glowing a bright green. These clamps would help power and focus the levitation crane's energy into the centre of the chute. Our boats were getting very close at this stage, nearing the centre of the chute where the Paitas would be levitated out of the water. An eruption was occurring below the water's surface, causing the water inside the chute of the Leviathan crane to swell. Levitation, not Leviathan, sorry. There's a lot of very difficult words in this, and about 1 in every 8 words is a made-up word. So I'm definitely doing my best. But thankfully, because this is a new game rather than a game that has an established fan base, I'm hoping I can kind of get away with whatever pronunciation we go with, and maybe I'll help establish what the what the agreed pronunciation is. The levitation was in process, signalled by a loud screech of shifting metal high above the crane. The hum of the crane's energy started to ring deep in my ears. Vibrations surged through the boat and worked their way deep into my bones. I had never felt anything like this before. I knew that the harvesting of paitas required powerful sources of energy, but I could also feel how primal it was, the disturbance of the paitas untouched for years now being brought into the open air for the first time. Quonanovic had done well in choosing this specific location for the harvesting. Slowly, the white orb shapes of the emerging newly harvested paitas began to rise out of the water. Vyok signalled to me that it was now time to start approaching the tower. While the paitas were levitating at the centre of the crane's chute, the energy of the levitation was at a safe level to begin the harvesting process. The cheers of the surrounding onlookers grew louder, an intense rush of excitement filling the arena, racing across the flooded waters of the basin almost as fast as the vibrating energy of the levitation crane. I looked up and witnessed the workers of the Scarlatti Towers leaning out of the windows, most likely due to having finished the tasks required to make the levitation process run smoothly. I almost forgot myself too. This audience had become aware that one of the Fazaltian rulers would be present for this specific harvest. I wouldn't say my presence here made much of a difference to the operations being conducted today. Vyok and Caleb were the prime examples of the hard work and dedication needed to oversee the harvesting of the paitas. While I had been aware of Quonanovics, push for new designs in paita harvesting mechanisms, I had not fully understood its powers, its complexities, or the raw power required from Philidian workers. They were the true heroes. Once we were close enough to the chute of the levitation crane, Vyok used rope to secure the boat to a wooden post, close to a ladder leading up the side of the chute. While I stayed in the boat, Vyok climbed the ladder to a small platform jutting out halfway up the side of the chute and opened a door which led inside the crane itself. The second boat began to slowly move in towards the centre of the crane. There was a shift in the energy flow emitted from the crystals. I felt the water below the boat swell for a second. The hum of energy running through the metal of the chute started to change, lowering in its frequency. Before long, the bright green glow emitted from the lavandus crystals high above started to dim, replaced by a cool shade from where I was positioned. On the boat, I could see the paitas had now fallen back down to the water's surface. The second boat was now slowly moving into the centre of the chute to collect the beautiful white orbs, which could later become the colourful keys of power used on every Philidian on Firemore. We left the Scarlatti Towers with 8 crates of paitas, a very successful harvest. Upon my return to the harbour, Vyok and Caleb departed to the Cainti Hall to rest and enjoy some leisure time after a hard afternoon's work. I decided to join another worker by the name of Leeson in transporting the paitas to the cart nearby. The paita factory would receive these paitas on the other side of the rail, where the Peoltish clan shall perform their magic on the newly harvested paitas. My moments spent harvesting the paita fill me with great pride and joy, knowing how strong our community has become as a working force, as a people. I am so proud of the men and women working so hard in delivering the resources needed to keep building our world and feeding the soul of our community. Neyyah flourishes. This was quite an adventure. This is Tassili. Immediately. Whip. Right. Let's do a quick translation here. Right. We've got the V's first. The V's first. So we've got an A. E. There's an E. E, 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 A. This is just going to be the harvesting of the Paita. Yeah, okay. This is just that title repeated. Next book. Next book. Oh, remind me though. So this is Geltrium. Latroke. Bellica. And Halest. Okay, so this is the one that we just read. Let's continue around. Right, so none of them are Tassili. The account that we just read. Yeah. The Paleoltish clans and the betrayal. Let these words of our land, our blood, keep on empowering our people to shine, to be the best we can be, and to learn from our mistakes to make Fazalta a better world to live in. By the order of Lord Quananovic, I, Bellicane, one of the 4 rulers of Fazalta, do hereby share my knowledge of our Fazaltan ways. Bellicane. Okay. Quick drink, and then we can launch in. Each Philidian can generate a wealth of Paitas, natural pearls which grow deep underwater at certain locations on Faya Moor's vast oceans. Quananovic designed ways to harvest these pearls, once realizing the natural energies that could be extracted from them, powering various areas of Fazalta. The defences we have against our enemies, though to the fuel required for various mechanical operations. Through to the fuel required. However, one Philidian was the location for what was termed as the creation. The creation is performed by a specific set of individuals called Paleoltish clans who are sent to Quan, far into the very heart of Fazalta, where they are trained by our Lord Quananovic in moulding the fresh Paita pearls. Specifically, designed factories are built and equipped with a variety of mechanisms in which to aid the Paleoltish clans in generating the power for the Paitas to become operational. In Quan, the chosen members who make up the clans undergo vigorous training, sustaining immunity against a gas called Viafil, which gets stored in large tanks at the centre of the factory buildings. We've seen that. Human-sized capsules are connected to these tanks, which the Paleoltish clan members are locked into, adorned with masks to breathe in the Viafil. The Paleoltish clan enter a dream-like state, the likes of which are still left ambiguous to this day. However, speculation has led to the idea that in order to bear such power as bringing powerful energies to these natural resources on Feamor, there may very well be a connection to the very realm of the Pelska itself. I can't begin to imagine what this must do to one's mind. It's also important that only a very specific amount of viafil gas is released into each capsule. An overdose of the gas is definitely fatal. Paleoltish members need to work together in order for the creation process to be successful. They need to be locked inside the capsules for half an hour, guarded by a Philidian warrior who is usually specifically chosen on guard, and protect each member of the Paleoltish clan. Once the process is completed, Paitas can be lowered down to a bottom level of the Paita factory ready for collection. At this stage, the Paitas have been moulded and shaped, coated and coloured into the newly created Paitas which provide power across Vesalta. Neyyah, or what used to be called the Blue Philidian, was a specifically designed Philidian requiring the power of 5 Paleoltish clan members to power the Paitas. This is the first indication we've ever had as to what Neyyah is. I thought Neyyah was this world? The Blue Philidian was a specifically designed Philidian. One particular Paleoltish clan member by the name of Sheruz Calafreyekel oversaw the development of the Velitron, a machine designed to cleanse the Paitas so that they were recharged and could be reused. He was very close to the 4 rulers of Vesalta and became obsessed with the Velitron and developing its capabilities. Over time, he betrayed the Paleoltish clans and the 4 rulers of Vesalta, insisting he'd protect an ancient sea serpent on Feamor called an Eleopoli. Instead, he would run experiments on them and other Vesaltians. Eleopolites became the result of Eleopoli and human transformations. These creatures served Sheruz in one of the biggest battles ever fought against Vesalta. Sheruz was bent on the idea of capturing the Velitron machine for what he termed as the next stage of his ascending. He believed he had the power of the Paita within him, the power of Feamor itself. Thus, a defence was made, gun towers constructed on the edges of the cliff edges, looking out across the open seas and armed with various weapons to fight off any Eleopolite attacks. It was the attack on the bridge to the Velaton Temple which led to the death of Hyen, one of the most acclaimed, well-known warriors of the Blue Philidian. Once he had died, Lord Quananovic desired the name the Blue Philidian should be changed to Hyen, named after this fearsome warrior who had died defending the Velitron machine. However, his family didn't want his name associated with what they would refer to as a place of death. While the Eleopolites were eradicated, the Sheruz had fled far away to a place still unknown to this day, the Blue Philidian had become a heavy military base. A feeling of looming war rested in the air, and for a while this Philidian felt unsafe. Pelskas were told to be on high alert in their protection of all Philidians across Feamor. So as a compromise, Quananovic decided on Neyyah as the new name for the Blue Philidian, a reflection of Hyen's name, imprinting his force, his memory and his fierceness within the Philidian. The Velitron machine remains protected, now separated from the rest of Neyyah, and a portal built to link the temple back to the rest of the Philidian. Sheruz Calafreyekel's location still remains a mystery. In the name of Vesalta and the spirit of Hyen, Neyyah stands proud as one of the strongest fortified areas of Vesalta. Right, that's the end of the book. So, Philidians are worlds. Neyyah is this world. Neyyah is one of the Philidian. So what is Feyamore and what is Fazalta? Protection of all Philidians across Feyamore. Neyyah stands proud as one of the strongest fortified areas of Fazalta. Maybe Fazalta is the planet, Neyyah is the area. If I look at maps, these are all areas of Neyyah. Okay, what do we have next? Okay, here. I wonder if I should be making note of that. This is in a slightly different handwriting as well. The creation of the Volk Towers. Let these words of our land, our blood, keep on empowering our people to shine, to be the best we can be and learn from our mistakes to make Fazalta a better world to live in. So Fazalta is the world? By the order of Lord Quananovic, I, Yunata, one of the 4 rulers of Fazalta, do hereby share my knowledge of our Fazaltian ways. Once Hayen had perished and Sharuz had gone into hiding, myself and the other 3 rulers of Fazalta decided that extra security and protection measures needed to be implemented. The levitation crane was the main concern. It should be separated from the rest of Neyyah, just as the Velatron Temple had been separated from the rest of the Philidian via a portal, built inside a deep cavern. During this time, murals had also been drawn up depicting 4 core processes behind the importance of Paitas. They were placed around the walls of the cavern, where the portal to the Velatron Temple sat at its centre. Paitas would be required to enter the portal cave, which was built into the cliffs on the Lavandis crystal coastline, and the portal's activation would also require the 4 members of the Paleoltish clan to insert Paitas. Lord Quananovic brought together the members of the Paleoltish clan and worked alongside an engineer named Jaobi Scarliti, the son of Leigh Felk Scarliti, who designed the Scarliti Towers. Together they developed a very powerful teleportation system, strong enough to be able to separate large areas of land. 4 towers were built, called Volk Towers, which contained a very complicated plasma energy stored within the walls of the towers and running deep down into the rocky island each Volk Tower was built upon. The plasma is very well protected. If the towers are destroyed, an explosive surge of energy is sent out across a large radius which will destroy everything in its path. Volk Towers also send energy to large areas of Neyyah that require power, such as old Fazaltian light systems, and the mechanisms once used to power the old portal to the Velatron Temple. The Scarliti Towers was the one area of Neyyah which was required to remain in its original location due to where the Paitas were grown below the levitation crane. 3 other major land masses were separated, however, consisting of Falitsu Island, Pinorvia Point, and Golafayak Mines, while a sanctuary zone was created for the Nyashka plant area, forming a center point for being able to access these 4 areas of Neyyah via powerful portal systems called Talita portals. Huge distances were put between these areas of Neyyah, generating various weather systems and time zones. Machines were created to keep track of 3 different details associated with the Volk-separated areas of Neyyah, the sun's position, the location of Neyyah, and the current weather temperature. Each Volk tower shows its active power source with a large Talita portal symbol built on top of each tower, glowing bright with the colour of the specific Neyyah location. The Volk towers have enabled Neyyah to remain protected from any potential Elopolite attack and keep the production of Paitas prospering. This is a book that we are going to take a copy of, because that feels kind of very important. The other two books so far feel more like lore. This feels more like knowledge. Right. One more book to go. Oh! No! There's a book missing! Audiobook Adventures stops there, I guess. Now... we've got some symbols at the top here. So we've already looked at that. That's a door. There are two doors on the ground floor. We came in that... No, we came in that door over there. Yes. Can we look up? It's a chap in a hat. Zoom and enhance. Yeah, it kind of looks like we've got some mushrooms and trees, maybe? No. So if I'm looking at the map, we came in this way. There's a door this side. There is not a door on this side to the signal tower. Right? So yes, we can leave this side. We came in that way. Ah, right. We can leave up that side. Right, that's the camera tower that we're looking at. Signal tower, unclear, but let's continue. Old dock is this way. Well, there doesn't look like there's much to this old dock. Aha! What do we have here then? Okay, needs power, I guess. I mean, that power is probably not going to be a million miles away, to be honest, is it? Yeah, we've got more of these faces up here. Okay, we can't walk along the edge of this. So maybe it's down this ladder. No, that is not a button. That looks like a path so much, but it is not a path. What is that? Oh, okay. That's not on the same platform as that. Oh! Oh, that's interesting. So that's the same device as we've seen previously. But I don't think ours had a symbol of a mountain on it. So... And there's another camera. Hello. So we've got these symbols around the door again, and we also have a ladder to... What is it a ladder to? The Constellation Tower. That's the Pelska Shrine entrance. Okay, crystal mechanism, camera, guardian statues. Okay, let's check this out. Constellation Tower. Okay, blue triangle 2 horizontal. Blue triangle 2 horizontal. There you go. There's the pieta we need for that. Okay, these are adding different amounts. No. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So those guys are all white. And that's filled up the thing, right? Oh, hello. This is the missing book. This is the missing book. Okay. Let these words of our land, our blood, keep on empowering our people to shine, to be the best we can be and learn from our mistakes to make Fazalta a better world to live in. By the order of Lord Kornanovic, I, Demighty, one of the 4 rulers of Fazalta, do hereby share my knowledge of our Fazaltian ways. The birth of the star numbers. Okay, let me take a screenshot of that one. Long ago, before all sides of the great Silidat Sea had been visited and the discovery of the Paita had yet to reveal itself to the rulers, the land was known as Tulimbari. One man, by the name of Elitharay, was planning a journey. He had made a boat, and from the single shores of a small island called Lata, he set sail across the glass sea, a peaceful place bathed in the warm kiss of an approaching sunrise. Time was cutting a new path of existence into motion, marked by the snaking trail of disturbed waves from the back of Elitharay's boat. The island of Lata had by this point disappeared far off into the distance. Elitharay had been living there for the better part of 10 years, isolated from the rest of Tulimbari. Here he became introduced to the mysterious Pelskas, creatures that existed beyond the living realms. He believed that they could help bring Tulimbari to a whole new chapter, evolving their community and pushing their world forward. On Larta, Elitherae had begun his visions of what he believed would lead him on a discovery of a hidden numerical language, which would present themselves through the stars on a soul voyage across the seas of Feamor. Fueled by the visions and thoughts he had received from the Pelskers, Elitherae set sail across the oceans for quite some time before coming across a small rocky island surrounded by Pelorian flowers. The sun had almost completely set, and their blue glow seemed fueled by the strengthening moonlight. Elitherae docked the boat and felt the sands of the shore beneath his feet. He then touched the sand, grabbed some in his hand and squeezed it, smiling. Another voice was coming to him. Philidian. Upon hearing the word in his head, he looked up and saw a shape take form within the sky, starlight stretching life across the otherwise ink-black emptiness above. This was his message, to start building Philidian settlements, which would in turn help fuel their land. The constellation became the number 1. Elitherae boarded his boat and sailed back out across the sea. The night had completely drained the light from the day, and a blanket of stars gazed down upon the soul traveller, swelling with hidden symbols, eager to make themselves known to the traveller. Paita. A second word came to Elitherae, a whisper from a soft woman's voice. Paita. And again, as a new island of rocky outcrop started to show itself glowing underneath the strengthening starlight, giant green crystals studded the nearby terrain of black rock. Upon stepping foot on the island, the crystals seemed to glow brighter and appeared to stretch outward from the ground, revealing bright white light at their sterns. Elitherae touched the black stones and shingle which surrounded him, then looked up at the night sky to see another symbol reveal itself to him. This was the constellation for the number 2. The rest of the voyage revealed even more. 8 other islands of rock, 8 other words, and 8 other constellations. The moonlight seemed to brighten all the while these discoveries made themselves known to Elitherae. Philidian, Paita, Shrine, Levitation, Peoltish, Hayen, Velatron, Harvest, Creation, and Neyyah. Elitherae sailed back to Larta, packed his things and set sail from those shores for the last time, returning to Tilimbaray with all his new discoveries, changing the world that would later become Fazalta forever. Interesting. So did they say that there were 8 other islands, so 10 words in total. 10 words in total. So. And like, we're reasonably confident on sort of what the first 3 digits are, right? Okay. Do we really think that that's the number for 7? Like, we've seen this one before, sort of representing 2. And that one's been like a 1, and that one's been a 2. But maybe this is trying to teach us the numbers, though. Is it worth trying to make a note on these? Like, they are in order. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I'm just a little bit skeptical of this being correct, given what we've seen previously in terms of like some of the instructions we've read have been like. Yeah, that was clearly like a 1 before. Or maybe that one's supposed to be 1. Okay. What certainly can't hurt. What certainly can't hurt, assumptions aside, is just to take a screenshot of the information provided. Yeah? Like, there's no downside to having information. Yeah, all I'm doing, I'm just putting these into a grid which mirrors this grid. So these are the 6 we have in here. I mean, I guess it probably is. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We've not needed like the strict definitions on the numbers yet, so I'm sure we'll be able to work it out later anyway. Down we go. Okay, so this building then is the Pelska Shrine entrance. Let's check it out. Pelska Shrine. Huh. New map updated. Pelska Shrine area. Old ammunition bunker. Jalud station. And Pelska Shrine. Great. New area for us then. So we're going to go and add that to our map that we're gradually creating. Where were we? Up here. Yeah, in the Ashka pools. Right. Okay, what do we got here then? Pelska Shrine is directly in front of us. The ammunition bunker is that side. We've got a Jalud station, but no Jalud, and we can't walk that way. Oh wow, look at that guy, huh? Alright. Don't mess. Don't mess with whatever's round here. Okay. I guess we're going to find another way in there later. Oh, hello.
The warrior within me wants to charge ever forward. But as Pelster of this Validian, I must monitor, guide and protect. Peacefully. The betrayals Smolax committed will either be avenged or forgotten. You may change it all, or you may change nothing. The Paita harvest could flourish again, and the Electrolyte shield might reignite. You could bring Smolax to this very point, so I can perform the passings. Or you might never discover what Amir has been working on, and Smolax's poison will continue to infect the world. I know what you are. Do you? I have activated a barrier to prevent any arrivals on Neyyah. For now, do what you think is right.
Okay, so we can't accidentally signal Smolax then, if no one can arrive at Neyyah right now. Do I have an ability to re-watch? I don't know. It's not terribly important because I can always go back to my old recordings, obviously. I vaguely recall I do have an ability to rewatch somewhere. What is this? I mean, it doesn't look like we're expected to add anything to it. I'm going to go ahead and suggest that these roots are not a feature of whatever this machine is. And this is somewhat related to the roots that we were seeing referenced in that previous journal. Okay. So it doesn't look immediately like there's anything to do in this area directly. So we are going to work our way back to the Paleoltish clan. We'll work our way back to the Paleoltish clan building, from which there is another couple of exits. We've got Camera Tower. Old Dock is a bit too old, literally a sunken boat. Oh, Volk Tower, we were reading about that. Main chamber, the old guard tower, the signal tower, right, and there's a set of stairs that we can go up. However, that, as well as cross-referencing our map with what we read, is something that we're going to be doing next episode. So, thank you all very much for watching this episode of Neyyah. If you enjoyed this Let's Play and you're enjoying this series as a whole, do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will see you next time for another episode. Bye for now.